Go ahead. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Magic of Paws. My name's Nissa, helping you help your pets. And today we are talking about exercising our pets and what's considered enough, specifically our dogs. So last time I was on here, we talked a lot about pandemic puppies and all the different issues that they come with, that they have. And what most of it all boiled down to was properly stimulating and exercising our dogs, and whether or not that was happening on a consistent and regular basis. So one of the questions I got during that live stream was asking about how much exercise was enough, whether leash walks were good enough or all these different things. And so I decided to tackle it in its own separate live stream today. Normally, when I talk to people about the behavior issues that their dogs are having, I always ask whether they are getting enough exercise for their dogs and whether they are being properly exercised. And inevitably, that always results in people asking about leash walks. And they will usually tell me that they have 1 or 2 leash walks going on in a day and whether that's enough and all of that. And I'm here to tell you that leash walks are great. They serve their own purpose, but they alone are not enough. Leash walks are great for as a brain teaser for your dog, exposing them to different sights and smells and all of that. Boomer, 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 Boomer. Thank you. Sorry, I've got Boomer with me, behind me. You can kind of see him. And he's busy rifling through my trash. So, Boomer, Boomer, Boomer. Pause. There. If there was any doubt that I'm actually doing this live, now you know. Bud, Boomer, 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 out of there, please. Am I gonna have to find another place for my trash can? Hold, please. You're a weird dog. There's not even anything tasty in there, my goodness. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. If my dog will let me do it. We're talking about whether leash walks on their own are enough for your dog. And they, as I was saying, they are great brain teasers. They provide lots of great sensory information, but they don't really count as aerobic exercise. So their heart's not going. And I'm sure if you've talked to your doctor about this as well, they'll tell you that, oh yeah, walks are great, but you need to make sure that your heart rate is getting up for a certain period of time of day. And for dogs, it needs to be 30 minutes a day that they need to have their heart rate accelerated. So let's get into a little bit about what the different kinds of exercise are, what falls into different categories, and all of that. So first up is physical exercise. This is where that whole cardio aspect comes into play, getting your heart rate up and all of that. So these are the things that you typically think of as exercise. So runs, walk, hiking, going for a bike ride, swimming, all these things that your dogs can do with you. He's still trying to find whatever was in my trash. So there's a whole bunch of different things that we can think about as obvious physical exercise ideas. So hiking, running, swimming, cycling, all that sort of stuff. But there's some other things that we don't think about nearly as often. So these are things like playing fetch or doing a lure coursing or agility, fly ball, dock diving, running up and down the stairs in your house, playing hide and go seek with the family, getting a specific treadmill, sending your dog to doggy daycare, some puppy playtime with their friends in the neighborhood, draft work, which is like ski joring or sled dogging, or there's other forms of it with basically dog pulling heavy object, tug, rally, going for a romp off leash. There's a whole bunch of different things that you can do with your dog to get that heart rate going. And I'm really curious what it is that you guys do with your dog to get their heart rates up. Let me know down in the comments. Which I forgot to tell you throughout this whole thing, if you have any questions, just please pop them down in the comments. I'm checking them for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram down here. So please tell me that you're watching, say hi, and let me know what is your dog's favorite form of physical exercise that you've got going on right now. So if you couldn't guess, if I'm breaking exercise into physical exercise, I have other categories. So let's get into the next one, which is mental exercise. This is a key component to having a properly exercised dog. So you think, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but I've gone and tired my dogs out. They've gone running for hours and hours and hours, but they still have some energy when they come back. And it's not so much that they have physical energy, but they are not hadn't been mentally stimulated enough. So they still want to get into trouble. They want to rifle through the trash. They want to run around with a squeaky toy. All those different things that stimulate different parts of their brain. So that's where mental exercise comes in as its key component. So different things that count as mental exercise would be things like our leash walks, different types of puzzle toys, so pulling toys apart. There's actually a variety of toys that are toys within toys. So anything that they have to like ruffle into the toy to pull out something are great. Treat balls, a stuffed Kong, obviously working on your training, some different games that you can play with your dogs, chewing different kinds of objects, so whether that be an antler, a bone, a stick, bully stick, all sorts of different things. Again, hide and go seek falls into this category as well. Doing some scent work, which is sniffing around trying to identify a specific smell. So there's a whole bunch of different varieties of that. There are some dogs who do it professionally and do, drug detection, bomb detection, bed bugs, coronavirus even right now. So there's a whole bunch of dogs that do it as a job, but you can also do it as a fun sport and entertaining way to work with your dog. Then also things that we've already heard about would be tug, rally, and draft work. So all of these different things that I just mentioned are things that they need to use their brain to be able to do. So even things like playing tug or any other interactive toy with your dog not only gets them to blow off some steam, blow off some energy, it also causes them to use their brain a little bit to compensate for what it is that you're doing. So fetch also kind of falls into this here, and I didn't include that on my list of that. If you're playing fetch and you're just throwing it in one direction, then they're going to figure it out pretty quick that that's the direction I need to go and I'll get the ball. But if you're throwing it up hills or in different directions, or throwing it long a few times and then throwing it short, different things like that to mix it up, get their brain going a little bit. And then the other things that I mentioned, like leash walks, we already talked about, is lots of sniffing and smelling. Rally, I realized I did not define when I mentioned it the first time. So rally is a dog sport that combines obedience as well as a little bit of agility and the fact that there's like jumps and that sort of thing. And it is a course that you have to do. And then again, draft work is a lot of communication of like, okay, you go this way, you need to turn right, you need to turn left, you need to slow down, you need to speed up. It's a lot of communication that way, so it gets their brain going again. I'm not done in categories. There is also social exercise. So dogs are social creatures. They want to be around people, they want to be around dogs, they want to be around anything that they can interact with and have a good time. So it's super important to include that in your plan for your dog's exercise. So this is, again, where leash walks can come in. Not only is it a bonding experience for you and your dog, but you can also run into other dogs or people while out on your walk, which again flexes that social muscle inside their heads. Interactive play, again, things like tug or fetch or any kind of toy or game that you have to work with each other to accomplish. Doggy daycare is also another great option because it gets your dogs interacting with each other dogs. Same thing for puppy playtime. Hiking is another great social exercise for the same reason that leash walks are. It's bonding for the two of you, plus anybody you might run into on the trail as well. So you're getting exposure to different dogs and different people. Again, hide and go seek is another great thing to build that interaction between you and your dog and create a social interaction. Cycling as well as, and also draft work. Both of those are on there because it is kind of a team experience. If you're riding your bike, you need to communicate with your dog that you're going to be turning or that you need to speed up, you need to slow down because you're on a wheeled object. So you need to make sure that you are getting all of that communication in as early as possible to avoid any kind of disaster. So what I'm going to do is show you what I have come up with. So here are all of our exercise ideas down here at the bottom. And again, these are not exhaustive. These are just some of the things that you can do with your dog. And then up here is the important part, is planning the exercise with your dogs. So obviously, if you are a single person household, you need to make sure that you are fulfilling all of these filling in all of these boxes by yourself. If you're a multi-person household, then it's not so bad. And let me just take a second here to show Instagram what it is that I'm talking about, because I just realized they don't get my screen share. Silly Instagram, right? So if you have a bunch of different boxes, and here we have 21 boxes, 7 days a week, 3 different things we need to fulfill. So you need to either do it all yourself or work as a team. And the important thing is to make sure that you're getting all of this done for your dog to be a fully well-rounded dog and a fully tired dog, which is what we all want. So I would recommend going ahead and figuring out a plan every week, looking at your schedule, looking at what's going on in your life, and trying to fill these plans out. So if you know that Monday you're going to be super busy with work, you have like 8 Zoom meetings back to back to back, so you're not going to have a ton of time, that's where, when you're looking at these boxes, you need to think about, okay, what can I do that'll cross multiple boxes? So you may have noticed when I was listing off ideas, a bunch of these things repeat. So hiking is not just good for physical exercise, but it's also good for social exercise. So all you would have to do is come up with something for mental exercise that day. So whether that's giving them their dinner in a treat ball or in a Kong, different, or any other kind of treat dispensing toy, that's a super easy way to do it. Or you can make sure that you're rotating your toys and all of that. So I always recommend going through and coming up with a plan for your dog for each of these days. bonus points here. If you are local to us here at Magic of Paws, a day at our doggy daycare actually covers all 3 boxes. I intentionally designed it that way so that you would have your physical exercise, obviously from running around with their friends, social exercise from interacting with other dogs and other people, but also mental exercise, and that we do work on some training with them while they're here. So you can check all 3 of your boxes with doggy daycare at Magic of Paws on those days. So there's a whole bunch to think about here. And there's more that I want to get into as well, which includes things like our use of toys and all of this. It's mentioned a couple of times of interactive play or toy dissection, all these different things. Chewing, all these things require not all these things, but a lot of these things require toys and a variety of toys. So if you have just tennis balls or just Kongs or just soft squeaky toys, it's not going to be enough. You need to have a variety of toys that you are also rotating on a regular basis with your dog in order to fully stimulate that brain. So my 2 dogs have way more toys than any dog could ever need. And the reason they do is because I've signed up for BarkBox and have been for years. So I get 2 new toys every month for my dogs. But because I've set up a rotation of toys with my dogs, they actually don't destroy toys, because every time a new toy comes out from the bottom of the box, it's super exciting, super interesting, brand new. And so they play with it in a different way than they would if it was the only toy that they had access to. So having a lot of toys that you're rotating through not only is good for their brains, it's also good for your wallet, because in the grand scheme of things, you're not going to be having to replace toys as often as you do if you only have 2 or 3 going at a time. My boyfriend would tell you that we have an excessive number of toys, which is probably true, considering we have like 2 fruit crates plus a couple of trash bags full. We could probably get rid of some, but they are all a part of our rotation. Our dogs play with all of them at different times in the year. So I can tell, my opinion is you can never have too many dog toys. But anyway, so you want to make sure that when you sit down every week to figure out your plans for yourself, you also want to make out your plans for your dogs and making sure that you are coming up with ways to exercise them in all these different ways. So if you have been paying attention to any of the promo stuff that I have been doing, you will know that I promised you a handout, and it is that planner that I just showed you. So you can get that by going to bit.ly/MOP exercise plan, which I can go ahead and post in the comments on almost everything except for Instagram, because Instagram is weird. So you can go right ahead and check out that link. You'll need to just put in your email so that we have an address to send it to, but it'll download this whole plan, and it will be updated as we come up with new things to put into all of these different exercise categories. So if you have something that you do with your pet that I didn't mention, but you think should be in one of these categories, please let me know. This is by far not an exhaustive list. There are so many things you can do with your dog to exercise them both either mentally, physically, or socially. So hit me with them, all the ideas that you have. Also, if you want to know more about any of these ideas, please do not hesitate to reach out and ask. I might not be an expert in flyball or agility, dock diving, scent work, anything like that, but I can guarantee you I know somebody who is, and I can get someone on to answer those questions for you. So if you have any questions, concerns, anything about anything related to exercising your dog, please do not hesitate to reach out to us in all the ways you know how. There's always in the comments on the video here. You can also hit up all of our usual places like magicofpaws.com, or you can email us at info@magicofpaws. You can email me directly at nissa@magicofpaws, though I will be honest, this is not the way you want to communicate in an emergency or anything urgent, because I have way too many emails I'm still struggling to get through. You can get directly on my calendar at calendly.com/magicofpaws. And that's if you want to talk on the phone, video chat, come to me, or have me come to you. All those options are on there. So do not hesitate to reach out to schedule an appointment at any time. Anyway, that is all I have for today. I will leave you be. It's been about 20 minutes, not including all of my technical issues I was having at the beginning. It's been a day. But yeah, I will let you all go. Please let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions of ways to exercise your dog, or if you have any questions. And if not, in the meantime, please give your dog a pet for me, and I will see you next time. Okay.